What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I had to change up my intro a little bit, man. I had to chill out for a second, so I want to thank to Kid Leak for letting me use that. Let me know what you guys think about it. I'll put a link down in the description to check him out. I saw this post. I let it go all day. All day I let this go. And then I just got to the point where I was at my breaking point with it. So let me just say, I don't know Marcus Lewis. I didn't know a lot of people that were having this discussion. I want to read this to you, though. I believe I'm one of the best defensive players in the game. The way I adjust after coming out of the huddle is fast and basically as if I was in a film study session. That's because I love the game of football, so I see it differently when played as a video game. Let me just say, I absolutely love, appreciate, and respect that statement. In fact, many of you will know that's what my channel's been about for a very long time. However, when you go on to say the reason for that is because you treat Madden like a film study, that I have an issue with. Now, I do appreciate that he calls out the people that exploit this game offensively, defensively, go online and show it, the big streamers, as he calls it. But to use things like teach football or film study with Madden, that's just a line you can't cross. Because this game doesn't even have basic concepts down. And I took exception when EA did it and said it. I'll take exception with anyone that does it or says it. So I went downstairs, I grabbed the first playbook I have. It's an actual NFL playbook. And this is an offensive playbook. When you look at these route combinations, you'll understand right away, none of these things matter in Madden. You don't have receivers that think vertical, can go around if the defense sits inside, attack the outside shoulder or the curl. These things don't happen. These things are not even logically in the game. What are we film studying? You don't have a slot receiver that stays on the move coming across the defense because he's trying to free up receivers behind him. You don't have variation in halfback releases to try to get depth in coverage for the offense to hold the defense. When you look at this, there's so many things in this that do not happen in Madden. Must make decision by center, win inside, if walled, return out, zone, find a window. MOSR. Anyone that's played football offensively, defensively knows. When I posted this, Rick Rodgers, within 5 minutes, must release outside. They never do it on two-man concepts with the slot breaking out. It's an automatic rule, and he is absolutely right. And it never, ever happens in Madden because the logic is not programmed there. We have the most basic, rudimentary, I described it earlier as pee-wee football concepts in this game. There is no high-level football that plays out from a logic standpoint with wide receivers and secondary players at all in this game. The pursuit in this game is horrendous. I've called the pursuit out in this game every single time. I've compared it to Axis football, to Maximum football. It is one of the worst pursuit games in football history. I joked earlier, if you're doing film study and you're looking at the pursuit angles, you're cutting every single player and then starting fresh the following play. I wish we could get to a point where I could say football concepts mattered. I wish I could get to a point where I could say you can actually film study and lab the correct way, meaning you lab by going into practice, running different route combinations, and looking at how the defense reacts. And then setting your audibles based on how the defense comes out and know what you would be able to do in terms of hot reads and read through progressions properly, but the AI doesn't even read progressions. The quarterback just stands in the pocket with his head straight ahead. Other games actually let you see the quarterback go through his progression. And we're talking about film study? You're trying to tell EA that you're sitting here teaching yourself football with this game? There is no way. I don't care what level of football you've played. Anyone that's actually looked at a playbook, understands concepts, and has seen them executed on a football field or in a football practice knows they don't correlate, they don't correspond, they don't go hand in hand with Madden. Madden is one of the most repetitive games ever. That's why the exploits are there, because the offense oftentimes knows what the defense is going to do. That's why slants are so successful. You're not film studying what breaks the defense on slants. You're film studying nothing. You're learning the reaction times to when the corners shift, and then you're using that to exploit passing windows. This is something that's needed to be fixed for years on end. That's a big part of the reason they wanted to bring in the change of depth when you go in and drop your corners. But as I said, it really doesn't work out in the game this year because you don't have your personnel changes in. So it doesn't let you put your tallest player on your tallest receiver or your fastest defensive back on your fastest receiver when you're changing those depths. And that's just one of the most basic football concepts there is. Personnel. You can't even implement personnel in the game correctly. Understand this. And we're talking about film study. No. It just does not work this way. We don't get to talk about film study as Madden gamers. If we did, the tournaments would look a lot different. If it came down to film study, if it literally came down to film study, you wouldn't have somebody putting a punter in as the quarterback to change the handoff animation. And that's the true shame here. And you know what? For all the people that block me in the community, I wish someone else would have latched onto this and said, hey, wait a second. We don't have football like this. If we did, the landscape would be so much different in our community. Maybe we could have a game that taught you football concepts. Maybe we wouldn't have a receiver immediately after an image of a playbook is posted acknowledge this never happens in Madden. Love to know what you guys think about this. Appreciate you checking it out. You know, I will be back whenever I really need to be back, okay? Whenever there's a problem in the Madden community, somebody throws up the football signal, I get on here and make a video for you in the week with more commentary.